Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and I recently discovered a brand new to me thrift shop. I'd never been there before, and it was very exciting and wonderful. And of course, I found something awesome. Two absolutely beautiful vintage, I'm thinking, pillowcases. But these are extra awesome because they're like Germany-sized pillowcases. I don't know if you know this, but I lived in Germany for quite a while, and the pillows over there are literally 80 by 80 centimeters. So the pillowcases are, 80 by 80 centimeters. They're absolutely huge, and this is enough fabric, I think, to make an absolutely adorable tiered dress. So that's what we're gonna do today. But before we jump into that, I've been getting quite a few comments from people who are loving my tutorials. Thank you so much. It really does brighten up my days when I get those comments, but they don't really know where to start with refashioning, or they say, I can hand sew, but I can't machine sew, or I'm just a beginner, I'm not really sure. Well, you know what, guys? Have I got a deal for you? Right now, you can get 50% off of my epic Refashioning 101 e-course, which also comes with my Refashioning 101 e-book and loads of PDFs. It's video lessons, it's absolutely everything. And right now, with code REFASHION50, you get it for less than $50. But you know what? Don't let me tell you. Here's Frau Inge, and she'll fill you in on all the deets.
Hallo, mein Name ist Frau Ingeborg. Und are you tired of looking in your closet and seeing nothing to wear? What about looking in your bank account and seeing nothing there either? Well, Refashionista Sheri has the solution to both of your problems. Her Refashioning 101 e-course shows you exactly from start to finish how to upcycle and refashion your wardrobe, and then in the very final lesson she is showing you how to take all of the skills you learned and start your own eco-fashion business online, selling the items that you don't want anymore and the items that you create yourself. Go to Refashioning 101, enroll in the course, and start your eco-fashion journey today.
For this hopefully quick and easy project, all you need are your 2 pillowcases that are big enough to fit around your body, or, a tablecloth, a bed sheet, a duvet cover, just, enough fabric to go all around your body, plus a shirt or a dress to use as a template. Now, because I want my finished dress to be kind of loose fitting and floaty and swingy on me, I'm using a loose fitting top as a template for the bodice. And if you want to know how I created this gem here a few years ago, I shall link that video down below for you. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is give both of my pillowcases a nice press to get out all of the little crinkles and wrinkles. Okay, so I now have my pillowcases pressed, and I have one of my pillowcases inside out lying on a flat surface, and I have folded it in half. So you can see here, there is the fold, and now we can move on to the next step. So next I folded my template shirt in half, and I lined up the folded edges together, as well as the shoulder seams are lined up pretty much with the top of the pillowcase there. And if you want to, you can do what I did here and just gently mark out with a piece of chalk the basic shape of your top onto your folded pillowcase, and then go chop it out. So now you can see I have the very basic shape done for my top. And over here on the corner, I just cut out a kind of half circle triangular shape to represent the neckline, because I have no idea what kind of neckline I want to do yet. And when it's opened up, it looks like this. It really does look like a top right now. And bonus, because I utilized the folds up at the top here, I don't have to stitch any shoulder seams because it's already folded. That's done. But I do have to stitch the side seams. So I'm just going to go quickly do that, stitching down from the underarm to the bottom hem on both sides. Okay, so I have my side stitched together, and clearly I flipped it right side out and I popped it on to check the fit, and it is absolutely perfect. The only thing I'm not sure about is if I should have it with this side facing the front or this side facing the front. They both look really, really nice. So I don't know. I'm going to put a poll up on my community tab, and you guys are going to decide for me. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll get the results instantly. So this is a case of a Refashionista miscalculation. So when I chopped off the button placket that was here on my pillowcase, as well as the top seam that was there on the pillowcase, I now realize I don't have nearly enough fabric to make tiers to go on the bottom of my top to make a tiered dress. So instead, we're just going to make a normal dress, and we're going to use the scraps for something else. I don't know. We're going to figure out some sleeves or something. But again, here is another wonderful piece of evidence that proves that refashioning is awesome, because even if you start out with an idea and it doesn't work out, you just pivot and make it into something else, and no one will be the wiser when I wear it. Okay, so for now I have my top right side out, and I have my other pillowcase that has now been transformed into a tube, also right side out, but that's going to change in a second. I just want to keep it right side out so I can match the patterns up. So you can see if I have this to the front, this matches that perfectly. And if I flip it around and then I flip this one around, that matches up perfectly too. So wonderful. So what I need to do is take my tube pillowcase piece, which is, you know, for the skirt of the dress, and flip it inside out like so. And then I'm going to put my top inside of it, making sure, hopefully, that I have the, yes I do, the right sides are going to be lined up here. Perfect. And now I'm going to match up the side seams. And as I always say, you can gather up your fabric however the heck you want to. I, of course, am going to be doing my favorite, which is pin tucks, but you can also gather your fabric with your machine, and I will link down below to the tutorial that shows how to gather fabric with your machine. But as I said, I'm going to gather my excess fabric here using pin tucks because it's just my favorite and I like how it looks. So because I have my side seams already matched up, I know that I have this much fabric that I have to gather. And you know what? I think actually I might just do 2 big pin tucks on each side, and then it kind of might end up looking a little bit like an apron dress. We'll see. So to do your pin tucks, you just want to gather up some of that excess fabric and literally fold it over until it is matched up. There you go. You can see there, that is nice and matched up. And then this part here is going to end up being my pin tuck. So I'm just grabbing a pin after I tuck this together and pin it, and there you go. There's one pin tuck done. And now I'm going to go finish off the rest and then stitch it together. And you can see my lovely pin tucks look fantastic. And if you're like me and you don't have a fancy serger to finish off your edges, once you're done your straight stitch, go ahead and do a tight wide zigzag over top of your straight stitch, and then chop off any excess with your pinking shears or zigzag scissors. And this really does help to prevent any fraying that might occur. And I know this fabric is quite vintage, and you see it's already started to fray a little bit there, but all of the precautions I just did should stop it from making its way all the way down to this seam and destroying my hard work. Okay, this looks so super cute, but I have to figure out what I want to do with the neckline, and I think I might just bind it as well as the bottom hem with a selection from my vintage white lace stash here. So there, that's going to get sorted. Maybe I'll use this one. That one's really pretty, or maybe this one. Not sure. We'll figure it out. But what about the sleeves? I could just bind the armholes, but I was thinking maybe I want to try to use up some of the leftover fabric to make sleeves. Then I went and I was hunting in my stash and I found these two tubes of tulle that I had previously made for a different project, and I never ended up using them. And when I put this beside this armhole here, it fits really, really well. So I'm thinking I might add these tulle sleeves, but maybe put a band around the bottom to make it puff out a little bit using some of the scraps of this fabric. And I think that would just look so super duper cute. So should we try it? Yes, let's try it. So I was just looking at these chopped leftovers here and thinking to myself, if I remove the buttons from this side, and then I can chop off this already finished edge and use that for the cuffs on my sleeves. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, how I refashion is really and truly the easiest way possible. And whenever I can use something that already exists, instead of having to remake a whole bunch of bias binding or something, I'm definitely going to do it. And this button placket here is just perfect. I just got to remove the buttons. So now I have two lovely little pieces that I'm going to use as the cuffs for my sleeves. And to get the correct size, I simply held it up around my arm and made it loose enough for seam allowance, but tight enough that I know once it's all done, it's going to be what I want it to be. So now I'm just going to go stitch the open ends together to create a couple of little loops. La la! And I now have two very adorable little cuffs to go with my tulle sleeves. So, how are we gonna do this now? I think the best way to do this is with, of course, pin tucks, because this needs to be gathered up so it fits into my little cuff. So I'm going to do what I always do, and we're going to pop the right sides facing and the raw edges lined up. And then my seam here on my tulle sleeve is going to get matched up with my seam here on my little cuff, right? And when it's stitched together, la la, that will come down and it will look adorable. Okay, so I'm just going to do a bunch of pin tucks so I can get this all matched up together, and then we'll see what it looks like. And there's all my little pin tucks. Now, I just eyeball things all the time. So if you prefer to measure things, by all means, go ahead. I just find it pretty quick and a lot easier to just eyeball it, and I have a pretty good eye, I think. So now I'm gonna go and stitch this together and then repeat the whole process on the other sleeve. How absolutely adorable does that look? That came out so perfect. And just because I'm me, I went ahead and I added some of that lace trim to the bottom of the cuffs as well, just to tie everything in, because I'm going to be using this around the collar. So these look so adorable. Now let's go attach them to the dress. So you can see here I have my dress inside out and my sleeve right side out, and I did already chop my sleeves at a slight angle here just to make it sit nicer in the armhole. So now I'm going to take my sleeve and pop it in to the armhole, and now the right sides will be facing, and then I'm just going to line up the underarm seam of the sleeve with the underarm seam here of my dress and shake everything down together, and then just go stitch it together and then repeat the whole thing on the other side of the dress. Guys, how perfectly adorable did that come out. I am once again impressed with myself because I've never ever tried to do a sleeve like this with the cuff on it and, you know, doing it from scratch and everything. And I did it. I successfully figured it out without a pattern. And I am, again, yay me for figuring this stuff out because it can be difficult when you're trying stuff for the first time. But this came out so well. I still need to work on the collar here. And I thought I would just finish it off with this bit of lace and just go around. And that's why I put this lace around the sleeve cuffs as well. But then I found this and I think that would be super cute. But then I remembered I still had a whole bunch of the button placket left that I had used for my sleeve cuffs. And so I chopped off some more and used that to finish off my collar. And it stands up by itself. It looks so fantastic when it's on. So let's go try it on and style it up. I am again totally lost for words. This is another one that came out a bungabillion times better than I thought it would. I truly had no idea how I was going to do the sleeves, and yet, seriously, how gorgeous did that come out? And the sleeve, this is like the last remnants of a curtain that I have just been using and making stuff out of since I lived in Germany, like a really long time ago. And this was kind of the last remnants of that curtain. So I'm so pleased to have finally used it all up. And wow. And the collar, you guys, look at this. Look at this beauteous collar that stands up on its own. This is gorgeous. And I absolutely think I need to make more of these because it came out absolutely beautiful and it is so comfortable. And I think if I pair it with tights, maybe I can stretch it out to wear into fall as well. We'll see. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Refashionista Sheri, what's with the awesomely amazing, stunning bag that goes so perfectly with the dress? Well, you know what? I made this a few years ago, and this tutorial actually appears in my Refashioning 101 ebook, which you can get free as a bonus included with my Refashioning 101 eCourse, which we all know you can get for 50% off using the code REFASHION50, and that means the course is less than $50 for you guys. So awesome. Go check it out. Link is down below. All the info is there. And then enroll and, you know, make your entire wardrobe as awesome as mine is. Okay, so I guess it's time again, isn't it? It's time for troll time. And once again, to find out what the heck I'm doing wrong this time.
Oh, hi, I'm Chantal, and I'm doing the troll time for Sheri today, and yeah, you know how it goes by now. That's not Chantal, I'm Chantal, but that's a Barbie that Sheri made for me, and I think it looks just like me. Her hair's actually way nicer than mine is, so maybe it's because of the conditioner that Sheri did on it. I don't know, maybe I should try that. She used fabric softener to make her hair super soft because she's like an old 1980s Barbie, but I think it's pretty good. And she made the clothes and everything. Like, come on, that's perfect. Even the animal print t-shirt here, that's perfect. Anyway, right, I guess you're here for troll time, right? That's what you're really here for, not to be watching me play with Barbies. Okay, so today's troll, her name is Macy. And I think I've got to tell you a little bit of backstory on this for a minute. Okay, so you know that Sheri, she lived and worked for like over 20 years of her adult life abroad in Japan, England, Greece, and Germany. All right? Yeah, she did. So she made a video a little while ago, one of her birthday videos, where she explained exactly how she did that, because she did it on her own. You know, she went to these different places on her own. Anyway, so under that video,
was this comment. And it's just bizarre because it clearly is showing the person didn't watch the video, because Sheri explained how she did all that and the kind of jobs she did and everything. So, okay, anyway, here's a comment. The troll's name is Macy. I think Macy. All right, so Macy says, must be nice having mommy and daddy fund your life. Right, and then there's like 3 ellipses there, which makes me think that Macy might be a Gen X, because that's something that we Gen X's like to do. I don't know why. It's something from our childhood, I guess. We use ellipses all the time, right? Okay, anyway. As far as that comment goes, Macy, why didn't you watch the feckin' video? It's all in there. And if you would have watched any of Sheri's previous videos, you would know she doesn't have a feckin' family, because she came from a really, really abusive, toxic background. Yeah? So yeah, there was no mummy and daddy helping her at all. None of that. None of that. She did these things on her own. Sometimes, you know, you make some friends, you help each other out kind of thing. But as far as family goes, nah, didn't happen. So next time, I suggest before you go and keyboard warrior stupidity, maybe you want to watch the video. Because like, watch the first, I don't know, 2.5 minutes, not even that. Read the description. Maybe don't even watch it then. Read the friggin' description and it's going to tell you, yeah? Because that's a horrible thing to say to someone, especially when they don't have any family. Sheri's not been in contact with her family for years, yeah? Because toxicity, there's no place for it. And you know what else? If anyone else has that in their life, if you come from an abusive background, a background where, you know, things that happen to you shouldn't have happened to you and your parents should have been there to protect you, but not only were they allowing it to happen, they were the cause of it. Maybe it's okay, yeah, to get out of that and to leave that behind. You never, ever, ever have to think to yourself that, oh, but they're my parents, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my family, I better stay with them. No, you don't have to. You do not. You don't have to. You know, your mental health and the mental health of maybe your kids or your partner are more important, right? Right? Than protecting someone else's feelings who was never there to protect you. So, yeah. That's about all I got to say about that. You know, Sheri has shared in her previous birthday videos some things. If you want to go watch those, you can. But as far as this comment goes, before you do any stupidity, I suggest watching videos and don't assume things, right? Because what's that old saying that says, never assume because it makes an out of you and me. Yeah? Yeah. So, I think that's all we're going to say about that today, because I'm getting a little bit heated and emotional. But, from me, Chantal, and mini Chantal, and, oh right, Sheri's making all of her stuff, yeah? And, then she's going to share everybody with you. So, just be patient. It's taking a little while, but she's getting there. She is. Right. Stay safe. Stay well. And we will catch you on the zigzag. You see, I did it again. I keep remembering now. I got the job. I'm so happy. I'm remembering all my lines.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.